Hi guys, I'm Shelley and I think it's about time we talked Isla and the Happily Ever After, the third of the contemporary romances by Stephanie Perkins. First being Anna and the French Kiss, second one being The Love of My Life, my current book jam, Lola and The Boy Next Door. But we're not here to talk about those, we are here to talk about Isla. Straight off the bat, you may have started noticing I am actually calling it Isla and the Happily Ever After now. I was calling it Ilsa because that's how I read it, but it turns out one of the first sentences in the book is how it's pronounced Isla instead of Ilsa, because her parents decided to name her after where she was conceived, on an island. Go parents! That's not embarrassing at all. The book starts at the beginning of Isla's last year at the American high school in Paris, which you may recognise from Anna and the French Kiss, and revolves around Isla's crush on a guy named Josh. She bumps into him just as the year's supposed to start. She's conveniently hopped up in painkillers, so she sits down and tells him that she's practically in love with him. They start a friendship, which very, very soon turns into a relationship. Now I say Isla's had a crush on Josh for the last 3 years. Truth being said, I think she's a bit more of a stalker. This is where the first problem I have with this book comes in. Isla is nothing but Josh. She has no other thoughts in her head, to the point that right at the end of the book, Josh says the reason he likes her so much is because she is a blank slate. Unlike Anna before her, who had a love for film and all the independent cinemas around Paris, and Lola with her love of clothing and costume and finding out who she is, Isla is nothing. All she has done for the last 3 years is go to school and follow this guy around. Her whole day practically revolves around Josh sightings. And I have a problem with this. Where is her passion? Where is her anything else? Where is her strong, independent woman? Now, it's the start of a book, so a character isn't well rounded. By the end, I was hoping Isla would have some sort of personality, but that's not true. I didn't know what her hobbies were, what her likes were, what her dislikes were. All I knew is she had red hair. You didn't get any in-depth thoughts unless she was obsessing about Josh. Like the other 2 books before, instead of it being a friendship, these 2 jump into a relationship straight away. Now, this is called Happily Ever After, and it is a contemporary romance. You expect a certain amount of chocolate box roses and perfect moments, but this is all this book is. It's continually one wonderful thing after the other, to the point that they jump on a train at one point for the weekend and go to a different country on like their 3rd date. I'm sorry, but who does that? 1, they don't even think how they're going to afford it. 2, it's their 3rd date for Christ's sakes, and they're just going to spend the weekend together and they get to kiss in the rain and everything is magical, and then you have the inevitable Isla loses her virginity to Josh scene. It's a flippin' Mills and Booms moment. His hand goes there, her hand goes there, the clothes magically fall off, there's flowers and chocolates and, well, there isn't, but it seems that way. It's basically if Disney wrote a sex scene and it's her first time. It doesn't go that way. It's supposed to be awkward, it's supposed to be funny, they're supposed to have moments where it all goes a bit wrong. It just kind of makes me realise how much I love The Fault in Our Stars so much, because the sex scene in that, where they're having their first time, is awkward. I believe Hazel calls it a hot mess at one point because it keeps going wrong. That's how the first time you have sex is supposed to be. Like, you're doing something new you've never experienced before. It's not supposed to be perfect, you're not supposed to be great at it, and this just gives you the impression that your first time that should be perfect, that your 3rd date should be running around a city that you've never seen, kissing in the rain and having perfect moments. But there has to be an element of some reality in it. I mean, they don't have any problems at all. They have one little tiff, and Josh has a slight problem with his parents, but other than that, this is smooth sailing all the way through. It's just too sweet. There's no real will they, won't they moment. There's no real worry anywhere. Everything is just perfect. Isla is airheaded, to say the least, and is completely obsessed with her boyfriend. A bit Bella and Edward, to be honest. She just thinks about him continuously, and if he's not in her life, she has nothing else. She has one friend and that's it, and the slight diversity of the fact that he is autistic. But that's barely mentioned. You do have a really big link with Anna and Esnade for the first book, because Josh was actually Esnade's best friend in the first book, and so both Anna and Esnade turn up right at the end of this book, as do Lola and Cricket, because they're all visiting Paris. Anna and Lola were always kind of well-rounded characters, and all of a sudden even they are all about their men. They don't have any independence, they just come in and they're touching their guys, or they're talking to their guys, or they're being really, really cute in their guys. And what happened to them? What happened to these strong, independent characters, which was the reason I loved Anna and Lola so much? I want to like it, but it just wasn't for me. It is a contemporary romance, it's your one true love and epic love stories, but nothing is that perfect. I think it's just a little too chocolate box, rose-tinted Disney movie Mills and Boom. That is the only way I know how to describe this book. It's just too much. I think I only gave this 2 to 3 out of stars on Goodreads, and that's being kind. I'm sorry, Stephanie, I loved your other 2 books. I will continue reading more of your books, but this one just wasn't for me. I'd love to know what everybody else thought of this book, so hit me up in the comments below, and don't be afraid to tell me I'm wrong and argue with me and tell me this is the most fabulous book in the world, because I want to be wrong and maybe I'm missing something. So I'd love to know what everybody else thought, so I'll see you guys in the comments. Now, I hope you guys are good and I'll catch you later. Bye!